Welcome to my first SMITE God Spotlight, featuring
Zeus, the god of gods.
this shredded, bearded toga man excels at dishing out massive AoE damage during team fights and is at his strongest in medium to large engagements. Although a magic damage dealer, Zeus is far from average and can be played in many ways. He is best played in a dual lane with a partner with a strong initiation. Zeus does not fare well in a solo lane as he is easily pushed out early on in the game. Zeus's passive is Overcharge. Basic attacks from Zeus will apply a charge to target minion or god, stacking up to 3 times. It is important to note that these charges do fall off after a short duration, but any attacks to targets with charges on them will restore the duration. As you can see here, as long as I continually land basic attacks, the charges will remain. Zeus's first ability is Chain Lightning. Zeus fires a bolt of lightning that will bounce between enemies up to 5 times, each bounce applying a charge. This ability can cause havoc in teamfights and is at its strongest in the jungle or when engaging enemy gods away from minions. Zeus's second ability is Aegis Shield. This is Zeus's utility and defensive ability wrapped into one. When activated, Zeus harnesses his lightning defensively, gaining magical and physical protection. Any enemy god that hits you with a basic attack while the shield is active will have a charge applied to them and will suffer 10% of the damage they dealt reflected back as magic damage. This part of the shield is little known to many players but can be used quite effectively. In addition, Zeus moves 20% faster and is immune to slowing effects for the duration. Zeus's third ability is Detonate Charge and is his bread and butter. When activated, all enemies that currently have charges on them will be smited for damage depending on how many charges they carried. This spell is based on a multiplier, taking 1 times, 2.5 times, and 4 times damage for 1, 2, and 3 charges respectively. Zeus's ultimate ability is Lightning Storm. Zeus conjures a ground-targeted lightning storm which strikes enemies inside of it every second for 5 seconds. Each strike applies a charge to all enemies hit. Something about SMITE that some players may not know is that any ground-targeted ability must ensure that the center of its circle is on passable terrain. As seen here, the ability cannot be used as the center of the ring is in the trees. For skill build, my order from 1 to 3 is always the same. I take Detonate Charge at level 1, Aegis Shield at level 2, and finally Chain Lightning at level 3. The reason for this is your highest source of damage at level 1 is going to be Detonate Charge. Use your passive to stack 3 charges on an enemy god or minions and detonate them. I follow up with Aegis Shield to escape ganks. After level 3, I like to max Chain Lightning first, followed by Detonate Charge. High levels of Chain Lightning will allow you to push and grant you an advantage when in the jungle or away from minions. I get only 1 level of Lightning Storm until levels 13 and 14 because it is very uncommon early game to keep enemy gods in your ultimate for long, so points spent in it will only be for nominal increase in damage. I then finish off Chain Lightning and Detonate Charge, leaving Aegis Shield at level 1 for the speed increase and slow immunity. Once Chain Lightning and Detonate Charge are maxed, I get Lightning Storm when available and finish off Aegis Shield. Start out with the standard build of level 2 Boots of the Magi and health potions. Next, get level 3 Warlock Sash for a hybrid of damage and survivability. Then finish your Boots of the Magi. Defenses scale quickly early on, so I get an Obsidian Shard next. I follow this with a Gem of Isolation, Rod of Tahuti, and the Pythagorean's Piece. For ability items, I usually pick up a Meditation after my Warlock Sash is done, and then Purification Beads and an Aegis Amulet when the enemy team becomes more deadly. When I finish my Gem of Isolation, I like to sell my Meditation and buy a Creeping Curse. By stacking that slow inside my Lightning Storm with Gem of Isolation, it slows all enemy gods to a crawl and allows me to get full effectiveness out of my ultimate. During the laning phase, always stay behind your minions. Keep in mind that there are many gods that want to push the lane early on, so you want to force them to make a choice. Stand far to the side or behind your minions so they cannot harass you and push the lane with a single spell. Never forget the damage you can deal in short bursts early on either. A single 3-charge detonate can be deadly. Although you want to harass the enemy, if the enemy god decides to linger, hold off on detonating. Large bursts will scare them into running. Most players underestimate the strength of Detonate Charge, so get in as many basic attacks that you can until they are out of reach and then cast Detonate Charge. Be aware of gods that have leaps. This list includes Sun Wukong, Odin, Bastet, and Hades. These gods disjoint attacks and spells during the leap animation, which means if you detonate any charges they carry, it will do no damage. Wait until they have their leap on cooldown before detonating. Zeus is all about positioning. He is very easily killed and operates in bursts. Try weaving in and out of fights as your cooldown cycle to avoid taking damage. Zeus can do his best work when the enemy team is not focusing on you, so make your best effort to hide until the time is right. If you see you're about to take damage, don't hesitate to pop your Aegis shield. It will save your life. It is also great for getting into position at the start of the fight, or for running away. Remember, while Aegis shield is active, you move faster and cannot be slowed. I see 3 enemy gods pushing the left lane. I start by placing my lightning storm in their path of escape. Next, I run into the tower so that if they choose to fight me, they will take tower hits. I pop my Aegis amulet to avoid incoming damage, then throw out a chain lightning on 2 gods that are standing next to each other. I cast Detonate Charge when all 3 gods have full charges on them. Noticing that Zeus is low, I go in for the kill. His lightning storm only gets 1 hit off on me and I still have my Aegis shield up. I dodge his chain lightning only to land one of my own for the triple kill. Never underestimate Zeus's strength against numbers. With only gods to bounce to, chain lightning into Detonate Charge is a scary combination. After an engagement in the jungle, I end up at very low HP. I pop my Aegis shield and try to escape. Ra shows up and helps Zeus chase me, so I need to find a way to lose line of sight so I can plan my counterattack. Once I cut the fire giant corner, I turn to line up my chain lightning as they bunch up at the doorway. At max level, chain lightning will put 3 charges on 2 enemies, so I get a double detonate on both gods, dropping Ra low enough to retreat and getting the kill on Zeus. You heard me mention earlier the power of the Gem of Isolation combined with the Creeping Curse. These 2 items will slow enemy gods by 70% and keep them in Lightning Storm for almost the entire duration. Here I combine all the strategies I've mentioned so far. Make sure you are never the first person into the team fight. Once the fight starts, I come in from behind to cause mayhem. Using the Creeping Curse along with the Gem of Isolation, I take out 2 gods in no time. I then use my Aegis shield to run, and take advantage of my chain lightning on clumped up gods to escape alive with a triple kill. When playing Smite, I recommend using a headset. It is very easy to hear auto attacks and spells when enemy gods are near you. Here I was passing through the jungle when I hear Bastet attacking something nearby. The sound led me right to her for an easy kill. Zeus's greatest bane is his survivability. Like with most magic damage dealers, without an escape mechanism, Zeus falls quickly to focus fire. If you catch Zeus out of position, don't hesitate to kill him. While Aegis shield is up, Zeus cannot be slowed. If you have a slow, scare him into popping Aegis shield, then apply the slow when it falls off. Detonate Charge is a multiplier spell. Thus, the more charges he gets on you, the more damage he does. It is never worth it to detonate 1 charge on an enemy god, and usually not desirable to detonate 2 charges. The true damage comes on a Detonate Charge where the enemy god or minion has 3 charges. Use this to your advantage. If you get 1 or 2 charges on you, fall back and let them fall off. If he chooses to detonate, you will suffer minor damage and use up his mana pool. Thank you all for tuning in to my very first YouTube video. I put in a lot of effort to avoid any rookie mistakes in quality, sound clarity, and flow. Feel free to like, subscribe, and leave any criticisms, comments, or future video requests involving Smite in the comments section below.